it's about to be serious. You know, she got the
bars.
Can you go down a little bit, like
bars?
I'll be up here.
Okay, there
I saw them speaking in tongues in that.
Yes. All right.
One day I sat in a car with smoke blowing from my ears. My brain was fried, coming up with solutions to how I could explain my present situation. Your life is different when you know God. You have a different standard, you're held to a different esteem. I paused before I answered the question, where have you been? You see, I took a trip back to Stardust, hoping to see the creator. Now Darth Vader showed face, aiming to be the father. Why bother with all the imposters? You see, I went on the iron horse back and forth, killing time for the symptoms to wear off. You see, I lost all sense, pulling on incense. Never mind the route, set out mentality, yearning to let it be. That was the time I bit the hand that fed me. 2 hands on the wheel of a minivan, pondering this person in the car that disappears and appears with no question, speaks in riddles and second guessing. That was the time I evicted the Almighty to make room for secondary. I sat in a car with smoke blowing from my ears, in the rear seat wondering, who is this person that I just welcomed into my headspace? You see, there was this one time I evicted God from my thoughts to make room for secondary. Mm-hmm. So that piece is called Secondary.
Come on now.
So my name is Erica. When I stand on stage, I prefer to be Epiphany. Why? Because a lot of revelations have come to me through writing. And that wasn't always the case. You see, I was born in Queens, but my friends from Brooklyn don't know that. So I was raised in Brownsville. I lived in East New York when I was born until I was 3, and then I moved to Brownsville. I lived there until I was like 20-something. You see it, right? Ah! All right, so, but either way, I moved back to Queens. So all that I used to talk about Queens kind of came and bit me, because now I live here, and I work here, and I'm staying here. Yeah, I actually work in Long Island, that's the thing. So I say that my church home is in Queens. It's been a transition, but I introduced myself with secondary only because I came from a lifestyle. Anybody who knows anything about Brownsville, you understand if you make it out alive, if you make it out successful, in the smallest sense, it is an accomplishment because of where you come from. I really had a lot of things going against me, and the one thing that I had going for me was that solidarity in God, and I didn't know it. I didn't latch on to it. I didn't really acknowledge a lot of it. So my life kind of spiraled into a place of secondary, and I was happy with that. I was happy with the monotony, and I just had to stop. It's just that simple, and make a decision. In this world, things are black and white. There is no gray. And if somebody tells you that they're gray, it's not of God. Why? Because God said that you're either with him or against him. There's no halfway. You're not halfway alive or halfway dead. You're dead, you're alive. And what is Christ? Life. And it's you know, come into things like this, it's so uplifting and it's so empowering, and it's also, you know, it's a testimony. You have your own, each of us do, and I encourage you to share. So this next piece is a piece that I wrote for one of my church sisters. She had cancer. Now mind you, you don't always have to have a story to tell. You could tell somebody else's story too. That is why the Bible is here. It is stories for us to learn from. This is a story that I learned from. This woman had breast cancer. She had to have one of her breasts removed, and she had to have an implant. And she went through a lot. I really don't know anyone who's had cancer to that extent. So I wrote this piece in dedication for her. And she's the one who kind of gave me the title. It's called It's Sad. A wish on a whim. On a whimsical wind blowing wishes into the world lay a woman draped in flowery pearls. Surrounding her were the leftovers of a dandelion, fluffy white bulbs left for admiring. It's sad, she thought, to see a big bright yellow dandelion wither, but oh how great when that yellow changes figure. Did you know that a withered dandelion becomes the wish flower we blow into the whimsical wind? Did you know that? Did it ever occur to you how such a process would begin? To watch the unfurling of a dandelion. This woman laid with the breeze billowing through her skirts. It's sad, she thought. The wind used to ruffle her own hair so, but she had to let that thought go with the bulbs that were dancing on the air. It was hard for her to reckon losing all of her hair. It's sad, she thought, how fleeting this life is, how things come and they go, how there's a time to live and a time to let go. You know, this life blows in the wind like a child blowing out their candle on a birthday cake, a child not knowing what's at stake, smiling at another year of life, ignorant of how that same candle 1 year may be put out with morning tears. It's sad, she reflected, on how many birthdays where coming up with a wish got the better of her. If only back then she knew the answer. How now was she to fight cancer? It's sad, she thought, how cancer can cost us our youth. It'll make us forget some undeniable truths. This world is a circle and it spins round, so what goes up will always come down. Age is not a reason for life to not repeat the same strife. There is nothing new under the sun. Every struggle is one that's already been won by someone. It's sad. How our situation can cause us to push people aside, cause us to backslide, to think love were a lie. Understanding nothing is guaranteed allows one to appreciate as you need. From the day we were born, there is a countdown of time until we pass, but at 7, blowing out wishes, whimsically giving over to life's dreams, none the wise about life's schemes. But at 5, when you fall, you think to get right back up, not a second thought on how often you'll have to step up. But at 3, it just doesn't occur. All that life has to offer. It's sad when the reason we are sad is because of our lack of understanding. We make such big deals about living to pay rent, but where does that money go once it's spent? These bodies here were lent to us anyway. It's sad when the price we pay for life doesn't amount to what it's worth. The price of life is birth. Yet here she lay with a wish in her hand, wishing for one last time to stand. But alas, there comes a time for us to go back to dust with the land. It's sad, she thought. People push up daisies when they could push up dandelions and leave wishes for everyone to share. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.